It's not happening. Okay. Hey, it's Danny here at the Geek Bar. So, me and Bruce have very recently turned 50, and I thought I would pay him homage by building a floor lamp of all items. So that's what I'm building today, and I hope you enjoyed the ride. Ta-da, ta-da,
I wanted this lamp to be only inspired by the movie Jaws, without anything too literal or explicit, and for the lampshade I got my inspiration from those petal lamps that are quite trendy, except I replaced them with shark teeth. And very early in the design stage, it became very obvious that
I couldn't just get away with one single size of teeth, so I ended up with basically 7 different kinds of teeth and 2 different kinds of arms, all going around an internal structure.
for a whopping total of 84 teeth, and each of them required cleaning and sanding. This lamp has been a very long time in the making. I designed it a while ago, and it was actually the very first project that I printed on the Bamboo Lab H2D, which happened a year approximately before the shooting of this video. And if you watch my previous videos, you'll probably spot bits and bobs of it scattered around my workshop in pretty much any of them. Now that these are all done, cleaned and sorted, it's time to focus on the main structure, which is made of 3 clear acrylic rings that are held together by a series of brackets that I designed with snap-on fittings, and it was supposed to be very easy and quick, but turned out to be very long and tedious instead, because the tolerance weren't quite there, so a lot of sanding and filing was involved. But eventually I managed to put together these impressive sea urchin from outer space, as I like to call it. And I was also very impressed with myself, because there's 2 different kind of brackets and they need to be alternating one with each other, and I managed not to mess it up at all.
Alrighty then, the 2 teeth are done now, and my sea urchin is being finally assembled, and I can stop spinning it because it looks so cool. So I'm gonna stick all the teeth down, and I need to start from the bottom up because they overlap from the top. And I think I'm gonna use the plastic cement because it's gonna be a lot less drama than using super glue, which can get very messy and cause fogging on the acrylic as well, which I really don't want. So it's time to protect this somehow and start with assembly. It's gonna be fun.
And it was indeed a very fun process, and it didn't take that long because the acrylic cement has almost an instantaneous grip, and because wisely I had labeled all the tooths, so I knew exactly where they were going. So before I knew it, I was ready to put down the very last ones, and then I just spent the rest of the day playing with it and spinning it around because this thing looks so cool. I was so happy about it.
Right, with that done, it's now time to talk about the base. And the whole idea for this lamp started from the fact that I wanted to create a stem lamp or an arm lamp, whatever they're called, where the arm is actually the fishing rod used in the movie. Now, I wasn't going to buy the original fishing rod for the movie because that's impossible to find, but I started looking for the same brand and the same model, and my research stopped very quickly when I found out that even that is extremely rare and horrendously expensive. So I started looking left and right for the same brand and for a model that would look exactly or as close as possible to the one used in the movie, but it was proportionally smaller to a length that I was comfortable with in terms of fitting in my house. There's only one problem. I know absolutely nothing about fishing, so I have no idea what all those numbers means apart from the length and apart from looking at the pictures, which means that I did find one that was extremely similar. I was extremely satisfied. The price was not super cheap, but affordable, and so I went ahead and ordered it from the United States, and when it arrived here, the package was suspiciously small, and when I opened it, what I did find was this, which is extremely smaller compared to what you expect to see in the movie. Well, I had to cut my losses, and after the initial shock, I came to the conclusion that this is exactly what I'm going with. So I started looking for the reel, and that reel also is extremely expensive, but it's also extremely big, so it would have looked ridiculous here. But luckily, I did find from the same brand a model that looked exactly the same, but is much smaller, and proportionally, it actually forms a perfectly scaled replica of the rod used by Quint in the movie. So this is what I'm going with. My only concern now is that this rod is extremely strong, I have to say, but is also extremely flexible. I will have to find out the angle this rod needs to be for the lamp not to touch the floor once it waits on it. Bear with me. Let's try and do some testing now. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm gonna build a fishing rod. From scratch. Which I never done before. Whatever. Well, I didn't expect I had to build a fishing rod. I never done this before, and that set me back a few days, I'll be honest, because there was a lot of research, and I still know nothing about fishing and fishing rods, but I have learned a few things. The first is that this is called a reel seat. The second is that these are called eyes. And the third is that they are attached to the rod with a special thread which is non-stretchy. And this is then coated in epoxy resin to fix it in place forever. Now, I am making a pretend fishing rod, and it's not going to be functional by all means. I just needed something extremely stiff in order not to bend to the floor once I attach this fairly heavy lampshade that I made, because I like digging my own grave. So I did get a pole which doesn't fit anywhere, which is a polyester rod. And funny enough, this is the same material they use for golf flags. I mean, so much knowledge in such a short amount of time. Don't pretend you knew all this already. My first instinct was to get carbon fiber rods, and I learned that if you try and bend those, they shatter. This one doesn't, and it's very strong considering it's only 12mm diameter. I need to run some tests, and then I will start building this mock-up.
And since I didn't want to risk destroying my lampshade, I grabbed a weight of a similar mass and attached it to the end of the rod, and then proceeded for a quite literal field test after clearing all the hazards. And once I was reassured that my plan had worked, I did pretend a bit to have caught a big fish, and then I gave myself a double thumbs up.
Now that I know that it's going to hold the weight of the lamp, it's time to carry on with the paint job. And for this reason, I mixed some color to the closest possible brown I could mix to the original rod. And I use cellulose paint, which is very nasty. So it's time to wear my respirator and paint it outside of the spray booth, because it doesn't fit. Now, when it comes to the handle of the rod, I'll try and reconstruct as much as possible the detail I have on this one, because it's very close to the one from the movie. With a few differences though. I will 3D print a lot of these components. I do have the seat, is a different color. I will probably paint it, and that will do. And then I have these cork bits. Now, I don't need them to be in cork, and I won't be making them in cork, because in the movie they painted it in brown. So if I 3D print them, they're gonna look just the same, and it's gonna be just fine. Because it's made in sections though, I do want the handle to be kind of stiff, to have some structure, and for this reason I got some very chunky dowels in wood. And what I need to do now is drill a hole centered inside this that allows me to slip the rod inside, and there's no chance that this will fit in my pillar drill because it's too long. Luckily, I do have a 3D print, which means that I printed a little Geek that slots on top of the rod and gives me a guide for a ridiculously long drill bits. And hopefully this will be enough to drill this very long hole and keep it straight. I don't know if it's gonna work. We'll try.
And it did. Well, I got a split, but that's not related to the process of drilling it all. But anyway, I got all the bits now, so I can use some epoxy and glue all the bits for the handle in place, which means I can carry on with the next exciting stage. After attaching the eyes to the rod with some superglue, I then wrapped around the feet with the special thread, and I firmed in place with a bit of superglue as well. And as I was doing this, I did wonder if it was a bit of an overkill, considering it's just a pretend fishing rod. On the other hand, I wasn't quite sure the UV resin alone would be enough to keep the eyes in place forever and ever due to flex or to change of temperature, so it's definitely giving me some peace of mind, and all I have to do is roll the rod under the UV light like a hog roast. And as a last touch, I added this red and white thread near the handle, which is a trademark of the Fenwick brand. I sealed the attachment to the handle with UV resin once again, and then I sprayed several coats of gloss polyurethane over the whole rod to seal everything in place. I have to say this project is quite different from all the others I've done so far, because usually I design everything before starting production, while in this case I've been making things up as I was getting on, and with a lot of question marks. Now, I had this beautiful piece of black walnut, and I decided in the end to go for the harpoon rifle used in the movie, except it's not gonna be an accurate representation of it, more like a nod or a reference if you wish.
I have a big conundrum right now because, yes, I mean, the support of the rod is inspired by the spear rifle from the movie, but at the same time I don't want it to be too literal, and I have this length of chrome tube, but in order to integrate it onto this I would have to remove material from the top, which is a lot of work, and it would also weaken the structure, and I'm not sure it's worth it. First of all, I'm not quite sure about the looks, because I don't want it to become like a tacky toy gun, and on the other hand, if I make it weaker and it snaps because of the weight of the lamp, then it really is a big waste of time. So I think I'm gonna scrap this, and I'm just wondering if I should come up with something else to characterize it. So I was always going to round the edges. Maybe I can go a bit more sculptural. I still don't want it to look exactly like a rifle, because it's not. This whole part here is not gonna have the trigger anyway. This is actually where the indent for the rod is going to sit. So this is sitting like this on the base. The rod is sitting here, and there's going to be straps over here that hold the rod. Yeah, I think I'll leave it as it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, given how things have gone so far, I'm not quite sure this thing is going to hold together once it's finished, so it's better I get on with the technical details and worry about decoration later on. I did go a bit sculptural on the handle though, without overdoing it, but just to soften up shapes a little bit and making it more appealing to the eye and to the touch. And once I was happy with the general shape, all I had to do was round the edges with the router, add some more geometrical detail with the block plane, and finally give it a good old sanding.
Okay, where are we? I've been on holiday and I'm a bit lost at the moment. I also had to do some work for a customer, which means that the workshop is a mess. But I did make the pieces for the base. In particular, I did the two base pieces, which are vaguely inspired by the shape of the orca, the hull of the orca, the boat from the movie, just in case you don't know. And I also made the two stabilizer bits, which I need to cut the notches. And this was no walk in the park, because passing this stuff on the other table at these sides is really scary. And now it's time to start putting it all together, because I am in the final rush. The problem with me is that the closer I get to the end of a project, the more I tend to procrastinate. I think it's a bit of a Schrödinger's cat situation where the project is not ruined until I prove I made a lot of mistakes. So I need to really push myself into finishing this and get to the final assembly. Well, the base now is almost completed. I am pretty happy with the way it looks. I only have a couple of concerns, and I suppose I will only clarify them once I proceed with the final assembling, which is going to happen very soon. Specifically, it does take very little pressure to tilt it, and that's a good thing, because on the other end I'm going to have a massive weight from the headlamp on the other side. On the other end, because I added this folding function, which was totally unnecessary, but I'm really happy that I did, because it feels cool. My concern is that there will be too much weight on the other end, and that may cause this to flip. But for this reason, I got some bits coming today in the post, and I will add a strap here that will secure this in place and will prevent this from happening, basically. I have good hopes that this is going to be a balanced system. My main concern is that it may take very little to take it off balance and fall down or fall apart every time I try to move it. So there is a chance that I may need to add some sort of weights to the base to make it more stable and less on balance. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I got a few bits and bobs to add to this here, and then for the final assembling, I'm gonna need a bigger workshop. Right. Well, that was the usual incredible amount of fun, but now it's working. It's not deflecting. Well, it's deflecting a little bit, but it's going back in place. I can live with that, I think. And if I sound a little bit tense, it's because I really am. Oh my God. Yeah, no, this is not working, isn't it? Yeah, none of it is working. None of it is working. This is not, I know I can hold the weight, it just doesn't hold it vertical. Right, to be honest, I'm not even getting upset. It's part of the design process. You try, and until you get things into the real world, you don't know how things interact with each other. You just need to cope with it and react. One thing that is encouraging is that off camera, I tried it with the actual lamp, which is slightly lighter than the weight I was using for the trial, and it did work a little bit better. So it didn't touch the floor, but it was still pushing this way, definitely, and it definitely needs to go more that way in order to keep the lamp to a height that it's working with my living room. So I need to cut a notch here now. And luckily, this thing flips over, because otherwise I would have been screwed. In this way, I can just take a reference, flip it over, and cut a notch here to a depth that makes me comfortable enough that will bend this probably about this much. Yeah, this much. So I had to add a tag at the bottom, and I shortened the straps as much as I could. And now I have to say, it's working. The stability test is fairly good. It doesn't seem to want to fall this way, and it's definitely not keen on falling on this way. There is still a bit of a swerve, so it kind of tends to oscillate from one side to the other, and eventually it can tilt enough that it wants to fall sideways. And I think it's fairly okay for indoor use, but I will probably have to find a way to add more weight to the base so that this won't happen. But other than that, it's done. I just need to connect the wires and light it up.
I'm definitely ecstatic that I brought this project to a conclusion. I love Jaws, I watched it several times during my lifetime, and I hope that this tribute of mine pays it justice. And as a maker who spends most of his time in his workshop, not talking to a lot of people, being able to share all these troubles, all these struggles, all this burden and all this joy in bringing an idea from the drawing board to the real world is a big gift. And I hope you enjoyed the ride. I hope you want to stick around, and since you made it so far in the video, why don't you hit that subscribe button so you can be sure that you'll see me again for my next project, which I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but it's definitely gonna be a big surprise. See you later, and thank you for watching.